Peg with College SportsCast, and we are presented to fanboys.
Perfect.
How long will it be?
Three, two, one.
Nope, we gotta wait for him to blur. He's got to
that's
blur
right, that's
first.
right, that's right,
We got to
that's
blur,
right,
so he's got to go.
Right. He has to blur first. He has to blur.
Oh, hold on.
Look at him.
He's still looking at different things. We don't know what he's looking at.
Man, we never know what he's looking at.
He does make weird faces like he's listening. There's the blur.
There's the blur.
1, 2, 3. And
he hears.
He hears us. There it is.
Hey, look here. I'm back. Okay,
you were gone so
maybe
long.
it is. I know. Maybe it is this internet, and I don't understand why it's supposed to be like 500, like half of a gig. It's supposed to be, but I don't really understand why. So, anyways, it's Brad with College SportsCast. I got my guys back with me. Jason's back with me tonight, and welcome to College SportsCast. Hey, Jason, what's up?
Man, what's going on, man? Been busy. Glad to finally get back to the show, man. Trust me, I would rather be doing the show than ripping and running than what I've been doing. But hey,
man, I hear you. I've been ripping and running as well. This weekend was non-stop, and I'm throwing Thursday in there too to prep for everything. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was non-stop, man. So I don't know about you guys. John said he just waiting around for me on Sunday and just chilling, So,
Sure. Yes, I was.
All right. So we are sponsored now by, right here behind me, Bluegrass Brad's. Bluegrass Brad's is also sponsoring the Fanboys and Greenville Sports Media as well. So we have snow cones and ice cream and Angus beef burgers, and so we are in Scottsville, Kentucky. If you're ever around this area, stop by Bluegrass Brad's.
Hey, the name. Good marketing. The name.
Hey, man, I'm from Kentucky. I've always been, a Kentucky fan, a horse racing fan, bluegrass music. There's a lot of things in Kentucky that it's known for, and bluegrass is one of them. So, yeah.
So before you get started, let me ask you a Kentucky question. Well, it's not so much of a Kentucky question. It's something that I know Kentucky fans will like. So with you being a diehard bluegrass Kentucky guy, which I know this because, hey, I know this. Are you excited for the Sacramento Kings that have so many Wildcats on the
I
team?
am very excited for the Sacramento Kings.
That's sacrilegious.
And matter of fact,
you're an
LA
Lakers fan.
I have an NBA playoff update listed for our show.
Okay.
That is sacrilegious. You are a Lakers fan. Being a Kings.
I am a Lakers fan.
Oh.
Listen. I am a Lakers fan, and I will always be a Lakers fan.
Turncoat.
But I do pull for the Kentucky guys. So,
Yeah. I figured that, man, because like I said, I know you're gonna get to it. I noticed that.
Absolutely. I promise. I even have it in here. I know we're college sportscast, but I had to throw in NBA. Listen, I don't really pay attention to the season that much in the NBA. A little bit, but not that much. But I really do like the NBA playoffs. Always have.
Yeah.
Since I was a little bitty kid, when I was I learned to be a Magic Johnson Laker fan, and my dad was a Larry Bird Celtic fan. And
already starting the hot rivalry young.
Oh, and we had it out every year, man. It was so much fun. Days you have no idea. It was so much fun. It was, man. I can't even say how much fun it was. I miss those days. Those were some fun days in the early 80s. What's up, Hammonds?
Ask Brad about the win Sunday.
Yeah, the win Sunday.
Is it gusting?
Oh, yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad, that's for sure. So that's what I'm going to start the show out with. Actually, Hammonds was there with me to do some photography and to help me out a little bit. So I'm going to start with that at the top of the show here. So on Sunday, I had the privilege of covering Prep Red Zone Kentucky. It was the inaugural event for Kentucky. Prep Red Zone. It was their very first event in the state of Kentucky. And I got the chance to go up there and to cover 2023 through 2026 kids who are looking to get them out there and to get recruited for football. And it was a football camp for Prep Red Zone. And it was at St. Xavier High School in Louisville, Kentucky. And we got to go up there and participate as a media member and report on everything. I have College Sportscast R&D Instagram page now, and R&D normally is in football as recruit and develop. I have it as recruits and discovery. College Sportscast R&D. You can find that. I have posted probably close to 100 videos on there about the event. So you're more than welcome to go on there and check out those videos. I do want to say at the top of the show here, at the end of the camp, the camp coaches, who were college coaches mostly, and the camp leaders all selected MVPs for each group. And I have their names listed at the bottom of the screen. So Trey Cotton from Louisville, from Christian Academy of Louisville, a 2025 receiver, got the receiver award for MVP. Xavier Cleary from Paducah Tillman got the defensive line MVP. Stephen Thomas from Louisville Male got the offensive line MVP. Trevor Havel from St. Xavier got the quarterback MVP. Caden Smith, a linebacker from Taylor County High School, got the linebacker MVP. Hunter Durr, a running back from Miamisburg, and I believe that's in Ohio. There was a few kids that come down from other states, and he was one of them. He got the running back MVP. And Jaquan Coulter from Taylor County High School got the defensive back MVP. And I wanted to give these guys a little bit of a shout out here. We are covering them for CollegeCast, the Fanboys, and Greenville Sports Media as well. Those are the MVPs of the camp. I did write an article about this, and you can catch that article on greenvillesportsmedia.com. I'm going to get that screen for you. And if you would like even more information and stuff on the camp itself, you can go to Prep Red Zone Kentucky on Twitter, and there is all kinds of stuff about these players and guys. There are other people that I mentioned in an article that I wrote on greenvillesportsmedia.com. So there's about 7 or 8 more kids besides the ones that I just mentioned that got MVPs that I thought stood out at the camp. And I wrote a little article and gave them a mention in the article. Look that up at greenvillesportsmedia.com as well. So
cool.
It was a pretty fun day. Hammonds was there with me, and he was talking about the weather. It started out, it was pouring down rain. Started out terrible, but
terrible.
So I didn't get to do a lot of interviews because the chance to do it was like all before the camp actually started, and it was pouring down rain. But luckily, it stopped raining about the time the camp started, and I was able to film all the drills and one-on-one competition and all the stuff that they were doing. So it was fun to do. And like I said, you can catch that at College SportsCast R&D on Instagram. There's lots and lots of videos. I also posted them to my Twitter page, Brad CS Cast on Twitter. So, by the way, I tagged y'all in most of them, so I'm sure y'all seen.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I'm like, why is my Twitter feed just steady dinging? So
yeah. It was a lot of stuff. I posted a lot of videos, so go on there and check it out. And I just kind of wanted to start the show out with that. Hammond says we had fun. We did. What else did he say over here? Said I talked to everybody and Brad was trying to reel me in. Yeah, a few times, Hammonds. Yeah, a few times.
That's funny.
This is true. Hammonds is telling the truth there, actually.
So you're saying that he's a liar most of the time?
No,
so
no,
that's
the
truth
not.
Right there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I heard.
Well, so he does like to mess around and say stuff, and he's actually telling the truth. I did get a Kentucky hoodie out of it.
You did?
Because so I didn't know it was going to be that cold. I knew it was going to rain. I didn't know it was going to, like, it got down to like 50 and the wind was blowing like crazy. So I asked Hammonds, I said, Hammonds, you don't have a hoodie or something in your truck, do you? And he said, yeah, I got one. He didn't have one on either. We were standing out there in T-shirts, and it got cold. And so I got a Kentucky hoodie out of the deal.
Yeah. Know before you go. That's what you need to do. You need to be paying attention to the weather.
So, Brad, you don't check the weather before you go
and do anything?
Man,
I mean,
listen,
I check the weather every morning.
I worked about 15, 16 hours Friday and Saturday, and
it takes 15 seconds.
I'm telling you, man, I didn't have it. I didn't know. So I knew it was supposed to rain. I didn't know it was supposed to get that cold, and I was wore out both days. I was literally on the go the entire weekend. I'm not even playing.
Got to check the forecast. Got to check the forecast.
Next time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sometimes we check the 5cast, but not the 3.
I'm telling you, man, it was bad.
I can see.
All right, guys. So we'll move on from Prep Red Zone Kentucky. I will say this: I will be attending the Prep Red Zone Tennessee on May 21st. It's in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I can't wait for that one as well. So I get to do Kentucky and Tennessee this spring. So I'm looking forward to that. Hammonds is going to go with me on that one too. So I look forward to another day of reeling him in.
Take your fishing pole.
I bet John had a blast too.
He did. We had fun, man. All right. So over the weekend, college football's second transfer portal opened.
Oh, did it?
I don't know if you guys.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it opened on the 16th and runs for 50s to the 30th.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch any news or anything about the new transfer portal opening? The biggest name that I had, the biggest name I heard was Barry Alexander from Georgia. He was a freshman D. He was a freshman D tackle, and he made a sack in the championship game. He's got some real talent, and he entered the transfer portal. That's the biggest name that I heard over the weekend.
Let's take a look.
I can't remember
the latest ones.
Man, the crazy thing is, I didn't know that it was I didn't even know. I'm getting educated. I didn't know it was a first wave and a second wave.
So in football, they have a 45-day. There's 60 days total. They have a 45-day window in December and early part of January, and then they have a 15-day window after spring ball concludes.
Gotcha.
So it gives them a chance after spring ball if spring doesn't go the way they want it to, doesn't look like they're going to get the playing time they want or whatever, they get a chance after spring football to transfer as well. They get 15 days.
So just going by 24/7 Sports, the transfer rankings for football teams, you want to guess the top 5?
Colorado.
Are you talking about transfers that they have taken in or transfers they're losing?
Transfers they're taking in. Yep.
Well, Arkansas might be up in there on the taking, maybe.
Not in the top 10.
You said
really?
Arkansas? You said Arkansas? You're talking about Arkansas basketball.
We're talking about football. We're talking about football. Football transfers coming in.
Yeah.
All right.
Football
top 5.
Transfers coming in. I don't really know. I can't.
So Jason named the number 1 team. He named the number 1 team.
Who's that?
Really? Are you surprised?
How are you?
Who did you say? I didn't hear you.
Oh, Colorado.
There you go. That's
Colorado.
number 1. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear you.
Are you? Are you not surprised about that?
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
No,
so good.
No.
Good.
I'm not surprised about that.
Okay.
No.
So we got. I've got the top 10 sitting right here, so we can do the top 10 if you want, but we can also
all right, run it down.
All right, so number 1, or here we'll just start from 10. 10, according to 24/7 Sports, the number 10 football school for transfer portal, bringing in transfer guys, Oregon. Number 9 is SMU. Number 8 is Oklahoma. Number 7 is Ole Miss. Number 6 is UCLA.
Whoa.
Here is the top 5. Number 5, Florida State. Number 4, USC. Okay. 3 and 2 are in the SEC. Who are they?
Georgia would.
Kentucky should be fairly high, but I don't know if they'd be that high.
I'm gonna go and say
Tennessee. I would think they would be. With Devin Leary and a couple of them, Marquez Cox, a few of them that they brought in, Ray Davis.
Tennessee and Florida.
Tennessee and Florida, incorrect.
Mm.
They're both in the West.
Oh, in the West.
Both schools are in the West.
Alabama
They're
not
both
taking
in the
transfer.
West, and it's not. I already named
Alabama
Arkansas, and you
would
said
be
that.
Alabama would be more of a team that would lose more than they
Lose,
would.
yeah.
They may gain one or two.
And
but
Texas
they
A&M has lost 26 players to the
one would
transfer
think that
portal.
they're probably not that team.
I'm going to say Mississippi State. You say in the West.
Auburn. Auburn's one of them.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn.
Auburn's one of them.
Number 3 is Auburn.
Number 2
Mm-hmm.
in the SEC.
LSU.
LSU.
Yep, I say LSU. It had to be
And then number 1 is Auburn. Or sorry, number 1 is Colorado. Sorry. Yep. So Colorado, LSU, Auburn, and then I can't remember what I said for 4 and 5. I have to go pull it back up again.
I think you said USC.
Yeah, that's right. USC and Florida State as far as the top 5. Yep.
But I can honestly see because man, listen, until and I don't know if they're going to do it until they put a cap on some of these things or try to regulate it better.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's going to hurt our high school seniors tremendously, man, because the way to quickly change your program around is to get experience.
Yep.
Get experience. That's like
I think that is one of the points that I was making when we did this last week and we were talking about the basketball portal. I'm trying to say when kid coming up, it's hurting. I think it's hurting the kids coming up.
I just think, like I was trying to say, that they're trying to undo all of the wrong that the NCAA tried to cover up and say, hey, you should stay here. Hey, we're gonna give you rules and regulations. Now that they're paying the kids, you have the ability to, hey, I don't like this job. Let me go get another. Coaches do it all the time. You know, they tell a kid, they tell a family, hey, I'm going to be here until you graduate. And then a good offer comes along, and they're gone. And so like, I like the fact that if you transfer twice, you have to sit out. I do like that. I like that rule. If you unless your coach gets fired, and you know you get because I had 2 guys.
There's a few circumstances that it's not, but for the most part, that's right.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. So like I said, dealing with the basketball, I have 2 guys.
Like the football portal being 45 days and then a break, and then after the spring you open it up again. I do like that a little better than the basketball portal, the way it's set up. I think the football portal actually makes sense. And the basketball portal, in my mind, doesn't. And I'll get to that in a few minutes when we get to the next segment here. But I do like that. I was mentioning that I noticed that there's another 1 or 2 kids that has put their name in the portal since it opened from Texas A&M. They have now lost 26 kids to the transfer portal football team.
Yep.
That is, you only have 85 scholarships.
Yeah, one of them being is the number 3 transfer player so far is Denver Harris, a 4-star, went to LSU.
Yeah.
So he is signed and enrolled. He's actually enrolled at LSU.
Right. Yeah.
So he came
most of these kids from the early one are enrolled at their new school.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. And so
that's the reason why they have that window. The 45 days is before school starts back in January, so these kids can be a part of spring ball at their new school.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of these guys are guys that were enrolled back in January.
Right. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
That's the reason why, Jason, I was saying the football transfer portal actually makes sense with, football, with college football, the way it's set up.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got to understand, college football is just, it starts fall, ends early January. It ends early. Basketball stretches from Early
But
November.
I'm going to get to something, and
Okay,
you're going to have to agree with this here in a minute.
I'm gonna have
when
to.
it comes to the basketball.
I'm gonna have to. Okay.
I don't see it. I don't see
You're
how
telling
you.
them what
I don't
to
see
do.
how you could not.
You're telling them what to do.
You're saying that you suggest it's a suggestion or something that you.
You must.
Yes, it is, but I just don't see how you can go against it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I can't wait to hear this one.
Yeah, no. Can't wait.
That's what I was going to say.
All right, wait.
All right.
What were you going to say?
Do you want me to get to it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to get
what
to
do we
it?
have to? You let it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So the college basketball portal should coincide with would be starting school on summer campus, the June semester summer campus. So you could, tie together where you could be at school on summer campus by, the first week of June or so. And then the 60-day window should start about after the Monday championship game, all right, in April. And it should coincide with the NBA college basketball return date. So this year, they have till May 31st to make their decision if they're going to return to school or not. You can put your name in, keep your eligibility, and they have till May 31st. However, the NCAA says their transfer portal is going to end about May 15th because it's like the 12th or 11th or something because it started on March 13th and it's only 60 days.
Okay.
All right. Which
you're saying push it back 2 weeks and
makes no sense. Why not give these kids the opportunity, put their name in the draft? They could put their name in the draft. They can go through, and on top of that, the NBA Combine is May 14th through the 18th or 17th. Guess what? The portal ends like a day or two before the Combine. It makes no sense. So these kids put their name in the draft, and they don't even. First of all, they can't even go to the Combine and get their feedback, and transfer
or return.
Right, and it makes no sense. There's no reason for the college basketball transfer portal to open when it does. It doesn't make sense for the NBA return date. It doesn't make sense for the NBA combine for these kids. It's off whack and it's off kilter. And if you move it back about 3 weeks, then it would be around the 1st of June. And these kids could enroll in spring or in summer classes so they could begin to prepare because they work out in the summertime, all these basketball teams do, and begin to prepare for summer and fall basketball. And it's the only thing that makes sense, if you ask me. But I'm not head of NCAA and I don't get to lead it, but I just don't see how you can do it any other way. What they are doing currently makes no sense.
Well,
Jason, shouldn't these kids be able to go to the combine and come back and decide if they want to transfer or what?
Let's just put it out here like this. Every kid that declares for the draft does not get an invite to the combine. And so that
They do not.
and they're going to submit paperwork anyway to get an evaluation.
But they now have a G League combine too.
I understand.
But it's still not every kid does.
I understand. But see, this is what you're up against. If you're moving things back and not letting things take its course. Well, if a kid's season is over with and his team doesn't even get postseason play, they got knocked out, or they don't even make tournament play, right? So that kid has to wait for all these other names to get in the portal, which if you're a slot right here, you're steady going down the total pole. And so being able to say something early, being able to say something early allows you to get your name out and do your due diligence, because guess what? As soon as those other teams are done, it's going to be some disgruntled players on that team like, hey, I might, because they're going to have their exit meetings and then they're going to transfer. Even though they have a G League, I'm going to say 8 times out of 10, they know if they're going back to school or not. People are communicating all the time. I talk to coaches all the time, and what they saying, and this is the consensus, it's not going to get any better. If you don't have a collective, if you don't have alumni, the Power 5 school is going to stay rich. But see, what helps is those mid-major schools and the low-major schools get a chance to get a big dog from a Power 5 school to come to a SWAC, all black, historically black colleges, because they're on their last leg. Low major schools, they get a chance to get certain players in that they wouldn't get because they were able to get out in front. Now, everybody who goes into the transfer portal is not a Power 5 player. It's just the bottom line.
It's not.
The notion is if these mid-major kids play well, then they can move up. So now we're playing musical chairs, just like coaches around college basketball. There's not a lot of new hires. There may be, I want to say, maybe 10 new hires, but it seems like there's always 20 to 30 jobs always out there. And so people steady getting hired.
It's a lot of recycling. Yeah,
it's a lot of recycling. So
it's like the NFL.
Yeah.
There's no way to regulate it perfectly, especially with basketball with the length of the season. And then here's another. It's a numbers crunch. You have 85 scholarships per football team. You have maybe 12 to 13 scholarships. And so you can't
13's the max.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't wait. And then, like you just said, if you declare and then to turn around and say you're coming back, sometimes they don't have anything to come back to. And so you have to make a calculated choice. Do I declare or do I go portaling? So the key thing is to go portaling. And also find out some other things. If that kid, watch this, if a kid transfers to you and he ends up leaving a second time, you can't get another scholarship. You got to hold that scholarship for him. It's kind of like a dead scholarship until he graduates. And so it's things behind this that we're not understanding that I just got to understand about. So if a kid comes to you and then he leaves again, because that's why they're trying to take sophomores and juniors, because they and grad transfer, because it's going to count again. So it's going to regulate itself sooner or later. It's going to regulate itself sooner or later. But I do think, and what I can't agree with you on is it has to be some type of regulation with better dates. I can understand it. But here's the biggest but. Coaches do not stop working. They are not going to high school gyms to send to high school gyms. They are waiting, literally waiting on the transfer portal list so they can recruit those guys. See what I'm saying? So I'm getting ready.
It's hurting. If it's hurting anybody, it's hurting the high school kids.
It's hurting the high school kids. So now what they have,
and it's hurting the high school kids in football and basketball.
But here's the thing: if you have a scholarship, you better commit early. Everybody, all the big dogs are committing early. It's only a couple basketball players high profile, meaning Bronny James, a kid who doesn't need to go to college,
Right.
doesn't
That
have to go
hasn't
to college,
signed.
but
That hasn't
yeah,
signed. That's what you're
it
getting
hasn't
at. Yeah.
signed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
just saying.
so the same thing that you were just talking about with the college kids, you talking about the mid majors and the small schools kind of getting out in front of it. Well, the same thing is happening to the high school kids. It kind of so if you're not top notch right now, especially in basketball, you're not landing a D1. You're not landing a D1 scholarship because
Post grad.
they're gonna get the 4 and 5 star kids. The power schools are. They're going to get the 4 and 5 star kids, and then they're going to go after the top notch transfer portal kids. And that's all they're signing.
It's really a business because
Yeah.
if you're running a business right now and you have a couple of positions coming over, and you either have someone that's, hey, I think he'll be good, or you have another person, I know what he brings. He knows exactly what to do. You're not going to be so quick to give X a chance, and when you know Y knows exactly what you need. I don't have to teach this kid how to wake up. I don't have to teach this kid how to come to practice. I don't have to teach this kid how to manage his schedule.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
You've already got a kid that's already been in college for a year, so they
he's
actually
been in college. He's been through it for a year or two or whatever.
They understand the college life. Yeah,
you understand the college life, and there's so much money involved that it's. Hey, listen, you man, look,
better to have a proven commodity.
A proven commodity. Now, we all do know. Hey,
and it does hurt the high school kids a little bit.
No, not a little bit, a lot of bit. Even though I know that's not a word, a lot of bit, because now I see it right now. Every kid thinks he's a D1 player. No one wants to go to D2, where you still can get a full scholarship and have a great career, right? No one,
right?
Hey,
right.
I'm a D1 player. Well,
or go to D2 for a year because you get all the playing time,
and then you can transfer, and everybody will be looking at you.
It's like, hey,
because
I went to
if
the
you
minor
go
leagues
to a
for
D2 school,
I went to the minor leagues for a year, and then I transferred to a D1 school, got me a starting role with a D1 school, and then landed the NBA draft.
Man, listen, I know a kid. You guys know it too. He plays for the Miami Heat. I thought he started off D3. Then end up making it to Michigan, and then going undrafted, and then signing about an $80 to $90 million contract, and he barely plays now. He's probably gonna play a lot now since Tyler Hero broke his hand. But what is it? Yeah. I can't think of his name. I can see his face, but I can't say his name. What is his name? Dare I shoot it for? It might be. I can't think of his name.
They have a Robinson that's a pretty good shooter.
He started D3, ended up at Michigan,
and he don't play much now because Tyler took his minutes.
Yeah. But what John was saying, like, that's what it is now, because now kids, this is what kids are doing. Watch this, because I've known because I'm here. Okay, and I'm seeing it. High school kid thinks he's supposed to get recruited. Well, why I'm not getting recruited? I've been doing this, this other person doing this. Well, everybody else signed. But now they got to go to what they call post-grad. Post-grad kids is just another year of high school. They're not looking at that because we have the leagues Ignite, all these overtimes.
Ignite's taking kids for 2 years.
This is what they see.
Yeah. They
cannot see. They cannot see into the future because they cannot see beyond this right here.
Well, not only that,
right?
And here's the thing, Brad and John, you guys know this. Kids are being told, "Hey, you are better than that." I'm gonna give you some insight. I actually signed with a D2 school coming out of high school. I signed with Henderson State. Henderson State is where my parents met. And my mother's from that area, small town Division II. The head coach ended up getting a job at Ole Miss and said, "Hey, do you want to come to Ole Miss?" That's how I ended up at Ole Miss. I was like, you know what? They're tripping on my height. Hey, this guy believes in me. wants me to come in. And guess what? I just happened to make the right decision at the right time. I didn't know this guy was going to get a head coaching job. I mean, a Power 5 SEC job.
Right.
I did not know that, but I happened to sign with him, and he,
Right.
hey, I want to bring. So I had to go through that, and so it's crazy that this is relevant.
There's
now.
nothing wrong with taking steps to get where you're going.
There was nothing wrong.
Listen, most of the time in life,
my best friend a scholarship with me.
Most of the time in life, that's exactly what you have to do. Is you have to take some steps along the way, and you got to climb the ladder.
It's your
that's really what happens.
So we have it in the major leagues. You have a guy that is major league ready, right? But he's still got somebody that plays ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better for him to be on the major league roster and sit, or is it better for him to be in AAA and playing every day?
It's probably better for him to be in AAA and play every day.
Correct. That is the correct answer.
Probably.
So
yeah,
for some of these kids, and they need to understand that sometimes it's just better for you to go somewhere where you will play, because the fact that everything is most everything is televised now. You've got access to every conference, everybody's got some sort of TV, whether it's on ESPN Plus or whatever, but the right people all have access to every bit of that. And so if you are playing D3 whatever, you could be football, it could be basketball, it could be baseball. If you're playing, you're going to get seen now, more so now than any other than before. This is not the same as not necessarily the same as when you and I were in school, Jason, because you got lucky and had a guy that went into an SEC and said, "Hey, I'm pulling you with me. If you want to come, let's go." But nowadays, the SEC network is, you can watch 50 of 56 baseball games, something that you couldn't do before. But, CUSA has a network, and, Joe Schmo, whatever network, shows. I mean, look, we can watch Cal State Fullerton play baseball every game, which is something that you couldn't do before. Now, I know I'm not naming a D3 school yet, but I'm just saying that these things are now widely on TV or on some form of streaming service that you can watch, D3 baseball or D3 basketball or whatever, and somebody is going to get discovered that way, and that they can go to these smaller schools now. But yes, the transfer portal is hurting or going against the high school athlete, and it's forcing them to either have to pick a smaller school than what they originally thought they should go to, or they are going to have to go somewhere and sit.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
Right.
And we're gonna move on to a different topic, guys. But I'm gonna go to a couple of news updates. So Edey declared for the draft, but he is maintaining his eligibility. So he did that today. Isaiah Wong, the Miami guard, declared for the draft today as well. The ex-Notre Dame coach is supposed to be joining the Atlanta Hawks staff. Mike Bray is supposed to be joining the Atlanta Hawks staff. Jackson is going to test the NBA waters from UConn, who's one of the kids off the UConn. And the VCU star Nunn is transferring to Baylor.
Whoa.
He's going to Baylor. So that's just a little bit of news from the college basketball world. On the women's side, Tennessee Vols coach got a new contract extension through 2028. 6'7" center from Stanford has transferred to UCLA. Her name is Betts, and she is 6'7". She is transferred from Stanford to UCLA. Sun Belt Player of the Year. Her last name is Jefferson. Is commits to Louisville to play on the women's side of the ball. So that's just a little bit of women's news on women's college basketball, and I kind of wanted to give an update there. All right, John, we're going to go into some baseball scores.
Yep.
And I'll kind of let you talk about some midweek games that are going on.
All right.
I know.
Currently, we've got Auburn leading Samford at home 7-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tennessee is getting beat by Tennessee Tech 10-5 in the top of the 9th. Missouri State is leading Missouri 6-5 in the bottom of the 9th. I believe Indiana State is blowing out Vanderbilt, number 4 Vanderbilt.
That makes no sense.
10-1. Let's see. Ole Miss in the bottom of the 8th is leading Arkansas State 4-3. Arkansas leads Central Arkansas 6-3. Virginia leads VCU, and this is the number 8 Virginia Cavaliers leading the VCU 19-3.
That's a lot of runs for baseball.
Yep. South Carolina has beaten Charleston Southern 8-4. Oklahoma is actually getting beat by Oklahoma State in the Bedlam for baseball 12-8. TCU is getting beat by Lamar 9-5. Kansas is beating Air Force, just like Virginia beating VCU 19-3.
Number 1 LSU is getting beat. Did you mention that?
Is that literally the very next score? Louisiana Raging Cajuns are leading the LSU Tigers 8-3, bottom of the 7th inning. I'm trying to see if we got anything that's worth noting going through. Now I'm going to find some finals. Alabama got beat by UAB 4-3 in 11 innings. I'll eventually get down to the UK score. So Florida beat Florida A&M 17-7 in 7 innings. They 10-runned them in 7 innings. Indiana beat Louisville 7-3. Duke beat William and Mary 7-0. Radford beat Va Tech 16-8. North Carolina beat Charlotte 5-3. Kentucky beat Xavier 13-2. I believe that was in 8 innings when they finally eclipsed the run rule. Clemson was defeated by Georgia 5-4. The Mississippi State and Southern was canceled. And Louisiana Tech beat Southern Miss 3-1. Miami beat Bethune-Cookman 12-6. That's another one that was probably.
Did you say UAB beat Alabama?
I did in 11 innings.
Okay. Yeah.
Took them 11, but they did it right down there on the south side.
Yep. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that kind of gives you guys some midweek scores and update on college baseball. And we're going to continue to talk a little college baseball. I've got a couple of things here that I hadn't told the guys about, but I'm going to let John kind of lead this. So we're going to do a pick 6. And our pick 6 is we're going to talk about our top Golden Spikes Award players. And I'm going to let John kind of lead this. He's our our college sportscast baseball guys. So I'm going to let him kind of lead this one. Jason, if you know some stuff, you're more than welcome to chime and throw some names out if you know some stuff. If you don't,
Gotcha.
then you're good to go. All right. Because I mean, I can throw out about maybe 3 names, but outside of that, I really
why don't you
say
go ahead and tell me your 3 names that you can throw out there? Do you have your 3?
You go ahead. I'm gonna let you lead this, so you go ahead.
Okay, so give me just a second because now you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, the Florida first baseman, and I can't say his last name.
Jacques Caglione. There you go.
Caglione. Okay.
Yes, Jacques Caglione is definitely a potential Golden Spikes award winner. He is going to be right now in the lead as far as. There we go. I just want to actually get a watch list up so I can see it and immediately be able to tell you more about it. Or otherwise, it's just going to be really dumb. So Jacques Caglione of Florida, first baseman. He's very much an Ohtani-esque like player. He leads or has somewhere in the 15 to 20 home run range right now, 60 plus RBIs late or midway through the SEC season, and he also is their Sunday starter, which is pretty good. And then
he pitches as well. Yeah,
right, pitches as well. Yeah. LSU has got a pair of players that can definitely be that would be on the list as well, which is you got Dylan Cruz, the center fielder, and you've got Paul Skeens, who is the starting.
Skeens was going to be one of them that I would mention for sure.
Right, Paul Skeens is the Friday night starter for LSU. Let's see if I can go through and I can start naming some players here because you've got some players that are from South Carolina, Tennessee. You got Chase Burns, a starter, one of the Friday night starter for Tennessee. You've got Kendall Ewell from Kentucky, Jake Geloff from Virginia. Let's see. Jacob Wilson from Grand Canyon. That is actually, who's his dad? His dad is a former major leaguer for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's see. Chase Burns, as we've said. Tanner Hall from Southern Miss. Drew Bream from Tennessee. Also Chase Dolander from Tennessee. He is also one of their pitchers. They've got a lot of pitchers over there at Tennessee. Enrique Bradford Jr. is an outfielder for Vanderbilt. But like I said, there are a lot of guys that are on this list. Jacob Gonzalez is a relief pitcher for Ole Miss. Trey Morgan, I think, is their first baseman at LSU. So there's quite a few that could be that could be on this list, or that could be the next Golden Spikes Award winner. Jacques Caglione is going to be the most notable. Him, Cruz, and Skeens. You've got several guys from the SEC or from some of the bigger mid-major schools that will also get very heavy consideration. So, quite a few that are there. And we lost Brad, so that's going to be fun because
how is he going to get back in?
He's not going to be able to get back in.
Yeah, he's not gonna be. Your phone's going to ring here in a second.
Yeah, it's going to ring and it's going to be like, let me in. Like, I can't. Sorry. So what we're going to do is we can chat baseball. We can kind of figure out what to do. Oh no, he figured out a way to get back in. Now we're playing musical chairs. I'm over here on the big screen. I am the captain now.
He probably got You got to wait to.
Thing said that it was one of y'all streams, but I guess it was mine.
Yeah, that's right. So,
yeah.
Now, Jason, you get to talk about the DeFan boys.
The fanboys.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That
We're just
that
we're moving around now, so going around in circles.
we're all getting a test to sit in this chair right here.
All right. Did you continue or did you like?
I wrapped it up. I wrapped it up. I just said
Okay.
that there were several players that were part of this watch list and named a bunch. Several that I definitely recognized. But like I said,
Okay.
they're kind of all over the place. Yeah, that Jacob Wilson, it's Jack Wilson's son from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Wilson plays for Grand Canyon. I do remember watching him earlier when they played Tennessee, either the first or second series of the year. Yep. So.
All right. So our Diamond Dig-In segment, we are going to dig into the SEC baseball standings right now. And again, I thought I would let John kind of lead that. He's our baseball guru, so college baseball guru. Actually, all baseball guru.
Really? Why would you name me that? So, the number one team in the SEC right now is currently Vanderbilt in the with a 13-2 conference record. Florida and Arkansas have 11-4 records. Then you have South Carolina at 10-4, who just took down Vanderbilt over the past weekend, or at least one game. I think they lost the series to Vanderbilt, but they did beat them at least one game. LSU is 9-5. You've also got Kentucky at 10-5. You've got Texas A&M at 7-8, Alabama at 6-9, and then we have Missouri, Auburn, and I believe Tennessee all at 5-10. Georgia's at 4-11, and Ole Miss is at the very bottom, bringing up the rear at 3-12 in the SEC.
Hey man, we in the right position. We're in the right position right now. About to make this run.
So Auburn right now, you've played the first half of your SEC schedule.
Yeah.
It's 15 of your 30 games. Auburn is sitting at 5-10. They still have LSU and South Carolina to play, which is not good for them. They needed to win the Alabama series. They did not. Pretty much they need more of a miracle now to happen instead of to have a shot at getting in. They've got to get to where they get to 14 wins in the SEC. They get into 14 wins, then they have an outside shot at getting in.
That means they got to win 9 of 15.
Correct. And 15. And so at 15, you're pretty much guaranteed, and possibly even hosting a regional. 16, you're going to be a national seed. Okay. So if you have that's the difference right there.
Right.
And if you're below 13 or if you're below 14, then you are probably going to be sitting on the outside looking in. Or you are going to be one of the last teams in. So you'll be sitting at a 3-4 seed at 13 and 17. Currently, you've got Kentucky is at a very good spot because they just have to go 5-10 the remainder of the season in order to be pretty much guaranteed a spot in. Most likely, they've got a shot to host right now. They are a top 16 team currently. They could be hosting a regional.
Which would be a big bonus
Correct.
for Kentucky. Yeah.
Right. So in the SEC, the teams that are probably most likely to host are Vanderbilt, Florida, South Carolina, possibly Kentucky, Arkansas, and LSU. Those are going to be your teams right there. Anything below 10 wins right now, I mean, and LSU's got less than 10 wins in the SEC, but anything below the LSU line at 9-5, they're going to have stellar second halves in order to be hosting. Those are going to probably be your host sites as far as the SEC teams that are hosting. You've still got teams like I believe a Wake Forest. You've got Louisville. You've got, I believe, UCLA.
Virginia's up there.
Virginia. Correct. Those teams right there are also buying in for hosting. And so, but right now, there are about 6 teams in the SEC that could be hosting a regional out of 16 teams. So just throwing that out there. Probably not going to see Texas A&M, Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee, Auburn even get a shot at hosting, even if they do get into the into postseason. You most likely will see them as a 2 or 3 seed in the tournament if they are to successfully make it into the field of 64. So, I think Alabama's got a shot at it at 6-9. I don't really think any of the teams that are at 5-10, unless they have a pretty stellar back half, because again, they've got to go 10-5 the last 15 in order to, or at worst 9-6 in order to get in, and that means that they're going to win the last pretty much every series going in. They've got to win every series, the last 5 series.
Right. Well, all right.
So
that kind of gives us a look ahead and where we are for college baseball and the SEC standings, and a look ahead to the SEC tourney in college baseball at the halfway point, because that's where we are right now, at the halfway point. I do want to get in here that we are now featured on the Real Fresh channel, and I've got it coming up on the screen, and we have a little commercial that I'm going to try to play if I can get it to come up. The Real Fresh channel allows us to be featured there on Sunday evenings, and here is his commercial.
Hey, I am Hal Fresh here to tell you about the Real Fresh channel. That's right, youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel. We are a network aiming to bring you various content each and every day, different types of podcasts, different type of content, anything from college SportsCast and fresh takes for some sports. We also got You Want to Do What? We got the Wrestling Corner. We got live stream. Just go over to youtube.com/the Real Fresh channel and hit us up today. Thank you for checking it out. Appreciate your time.
The Real Fresh.
Howie Fresh. We'll have to wait for Brad to figure it out.
All right, guys.
There you go. You made it back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I didn't know if you could hear me yet. Y'all was quiet. I couldn't tell. All right. So that was the Real Fresh channel. And we appreciate Howie for all that he does for us and for the fanboys. So that's a little bit for him as well there. I do have something new here put up on the screen, and I'm going to kind of give this a try. So we have some college SportsCast swag.
Okay.
So a merchandise here. If you guys would like to purchase a shirt from us, I have it up on the screen. Have a little scan code there. Our shirts are $27.49. And I think there's about 3 different colors you can choose from. I've got a picture black one. There's a green one, and kind of a charcoal, I believe, are the 3 colors. and the green one's like a dark green color, I believe. So, it will help us and support college sportscast, and you can have a cool shirt to wear. So I thought I would put that up on the screen and get your shirt from us, guys. We all should buy one ourselves and like some Tuesday night or something, and like all of it, and that way we can show everybody what the shirts look like and stuff on air and that kind of stuff. But I did want to put that up on the screen. It's so get your shirt from us, guys.
No doubt. I will be getting one of those.
Got some more stuff coming. We're going to do some the Fanboys gear and stuff as well. So we've got some more stuff coming along the lines as well. So that should be fun. We'll get some of that stuff up as well. I tried to get some of the one of the Fanboys on tonight, but I couldn't get both of them to download before and everything. So our prize picks, you can go to prizepicks.com and use our promo code CS to double your initial deposit up to $100. So if you deposit $50, you get $100 to play with. If you deposit $100, you get $200 to play with. It's a daily fantasy sports, and you can go on there with over 30 sports to play with each and every day. Right now, the NBA playoffs are going on. It's a fun time to be, putting $5 down that Steph Curry is going to get more than, they say 30 tonight or 32 or whatever. And, you can play $5 and try to win you some money. Again, use our code CSCast to double your money.
Well, I might need to double
All
my
right. Speaking of that, NFL playoffs are going on. Let's do a little update on the NBA playoffs.
I was like, what have I been
NFL?
missing?
No, NBA playoffs are going on right now. I want to do a little update on the NBA playoffs. So I want you guys to know, and we were talking, you brought them up early when the show first started. So tonight, Sacramento Kings put Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors in a 2-0 deficit. And it is the first time Steph Curry's career that he has been in a 2-0 deficit in the NBA.
I thought they were in a
playoffs.
2-0 deficit before. I thought they was in a 2-0 deficit before.
According to the article that I read today, it was the first time that Steph had ever. I mean, that's what it said. So now, unless the article was wrong.
They said it last night on TNT. So they said that last night on TNT. So
yeah, it was the first 2-0 deficit in Steph's career.
I actually picked Sacramento to pull the upset. I actually did. So.
Well, I mean, the two games were at Sacramento. They're the 3 seed, and Golden State's the 6 seed in this one. So, I mean, Golden State did not have their, 55, 60 win season like they had been. I think they went 44-38 or something like that, and so they kind of had a little bit of an off year compared to what they had been the last couple of seasons. And they're the 6 seed, and Sacramento is the 3 seed. And Sacramento took care of business at home. And you're talking about the Kentucky guys. I will name them now. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk are there, and they played together at UK. And you can tell that they have chemistry. I mean, they just have chemistry on the floor. This is the first time in 16 years that the Sacramento Kings have won a playoff game.
Now don't forget your boy Trey Lyles as well too. Trey Lyles.
Yes, Trey Lyles is there too. Trey did not play with Fox and Monk.
He didn't. But he had a nice game. That first game.
Yeah.
That's why I picked Sacramento to pull the upset, because they actually play better on the road. That's going to be
we're
scary.
fixing to find out. You got the big guys, Sabonis or whatever.
Sabonis?
I can't. Yeah,
that's his last name.
I think that's how you pronounce it, isn't it?
I think they might get hit in the mouth in the Oracle, but I think, man, I just think they're gonna punch back. I
hope so. I have to say, with 3 Kentucky boys on there, I'm pulling for Sacramento in this series. Steph, don't get me wrong, I like Steph. Steph's had a great career, and he's still going to be a great player, but it's time for somebody else to step up. And Malik Monk has been one of my favorite players ever since he showed up on Kentucky camp. Actually, his senior year in high school, I actually went to see him play. I was living in Emma, and I actually went to see him play his senior year in high school, and he was something else. I mean, he was just in high school. He showed up at UK campus and just showed out in so many games at Kentucky. And the other night, he has 32 off the bench in game 1. Last night, he comes in the second quarter, he busts a couple of 3-pointers, 18 points off the bench last night, and he's just one of my favorite players. He has been. He's my son's favorite player. My son has his autograph, and I helped him get his autograph when Monk left Kentucky, and so we have his autograph and stuff, and he's got it, his jersey and a hat and everything else. It's when he was with Charlotte, you know. He's just been one of our favorites. So
I saw Monk as a 9th grader, and he made me rise out of my seat on one particular play. He must have drove and cocked the ball back to his feet and tried to just end somebody's career. And I knew then, I called all my guys who was high made. I said, look, I don't know what y'all
This cat,
Malik Monk, he is the next one out of Arkansas. He will he will be a pro. Even though Arkansas tried to do everything they could do, they even had his brother up there. They made a business decision. They made a business decision, because I remember they moved his family from Lepanto, that's with a rural area, up to Bentonville. They moved the entire family up that way. And
Walmart.
Hey,
they moved him to Walmart.
They tried, and I was glad.
Walton said, "Hey, why don't you come to our house right here?
And when
you have a whole room, bring your family."
Hey, listen. I mean, he was.
It happened. It really did happen.
He was one of those guys who was worth the price of admission. Every time,
man, every time
he did not
in every gym. Yes, absolutely, man.
He did not.
No, man. He didn't at Kentucky, and he played at LA last year and come off the bench and actually started several games for the Lakers last year.
That revived his career. Him being LA revived, because when you get drafted to a team like Charlotte,
did.
You don't have a
because he had about 1 or 2 down years at Charlotte, and he played at LA last year and averaged around 14 points a game with LA. And towards the end of the year, the last like 15 or 20 games, he was probably averaging around 18 or 20. And because he started out a little slow, but man, I'm telling you, he's one of my favorite players. Exactly what you said. He is worth the price of admission.
All right. Well, here, since y'all been talking about him playing and seeing him in high school, Who is the biggest star, biggest name that you saw in high school when they were in high school and you watched them with your own two eyes? And
So Monk's right up there for me, but I've
Right.
got another one or two that I'll mention.
I got two. I
Okay.
saw Sharif Abdul Rahim.
okay,
I don't know if y'all know that name. He's a pretty good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was
Okay.
he was 6'10" playing the point. And you know, back in the day when you didn't have social media, you had to get the media guy. And I flipped to him real quick, like, who is this? I saw him live because he was playing the point. I'm like, who? And then I saw Stephon Marbury play live. I seen Marbury
in
come
high
down.
school.
In high school, I seen him come down dribbling with one hand behind his back and just shot it with one hand. Man, listen, I knew those two were instant stars. So, I mean,
So I already mentioned that I went and seen Malik Monk play in high school one game, and if my memory serves me right, it was a game. I think he had like 40 points, 40 plus. I'm pretty sure the night I was there, he was just head and shoulders above anybody and everybody that was on the floor. I mean, he was just a star in the making. But a long, long time ago, when I was just a kid, I was probably 10 or 11, something like that. I seen Rex Chapman play at Apollo in Owensboro.
That's good.
I seen Rex Chapman play in high school, and I'm telling y'all guys, man, the gym couldn't hold him, man. This kid, oh my God. I mean, so he played a team. Rex Chapman's 6'4", okay? And he played a team that had a 6'8" and a 6'9" guy. They had two guys. They had a 6'8" and a 6'9" guy. And one of them was like 260. It was either a 6'8" guy or 6'9" guy. I can't remember. He was like 260. And I mean, built like a brick house. And the gym could not hold Rex Chapman. The dude could jump over the backboard. I mean, it was a sight to see. I was about 10 or 11 years old, and I will never, ever, ever forget the gym. So, like, they used to wait. I mean, there were people on the outside just trying to get in the gym and peek through the doors and stuff. It was the most insane. I have never in my life seen a high school atmosphere that followed Rex Chapman. This was before anything to do with internet or social media. You know, this was mid 80s, 84, 85, something like that. And he was a phenomenon, man. And I mean, everybody all around was just swarming to come see him. And it was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen in my. I've never seen anything like it. It was like he was a rock star, and I mean, they were just flooding the outside of the gym. People were trying to sneak in, and it was packed. They wouldn't let no more people in because it was just a small gym. The Apollo High School, and I mean, it was honestly, it was one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen. It really was.
I also seen something similar. I saw Zion Williams playing the AAU game in Little Rock,
really?
Arkansas, and it was standing room only outside.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Man. And then I saw Monte Ellis play in high school. And that story, I'll tell a quick story about that. I'm staying in Jackson, Mississippi at the time. I had just finished Ole Miss. I started working down there with the championship children, and I started getting ready to play semi-pro ball. And so it was this gym, Northside Gym, that we all the top players. Because back then Mississippi had a lot of great players that would come back. Mo Williams, Justin Reed. I mean, a bunch of guys who's still playing right now today as well. So it was this kid, and I had a good day the first day. Then this kid showed up, and I think I got pretty good defense. Matter of fact, I know I got pretty good defense. And so it was this kid that every time the shot went up, I would look, and then I would look. He would be, and he's my man. He would be laying the ball up on the other end every single time. Okay, Jason, you got to get back. You got to get back. Okay, and then I call myself trying to hold him, and I said, "Hey, what college you go to?" He was like, "Nah, I'm in 11th grade. I'm gonna be a senior next year." You gonna be a what? A senior where? In high school. His name was Monte Ellis.
Monte Ellis.
Huh. They call him the Mississippi Bully. He was by far the fastest guy I had ever guarded in my entire life.
Really?
First time I said switch, I don't need to be guarding him.
Yeah.
He had a spin move that was unreal that he got it because he was one of the last ones who got drafted. Him and Lou Williams went at it.
Right.
And he couldn't play none of his games in the high school gym. He could play none of them. They were always played at Jackson State. Because he, like when I say the most athletic kid I have ever seen and actually guarded, I'm 21 at the time. I had no business guarding him. Trying to block him out, he's above the rim. Like,
yeah.
But I'm gonna tell all my friends about you.
Right.
There you go.
Yep. So the NFL draft's coming up, guys.
Uh-oh.
It is a week Thursday. We are going to have a Green Bay. I can't talk.
Yes,
We're going to have Green Bay is what I am trying to say. Packers.
Good.
Guy on with us to talk about the draft. I can't talk tonight with us. And then
talking is hard.
Next Tuesday is going to be our last mock draft. Mock draft guy is going to be on here next Tuesday night with us, and we're going to have that'll be the draft on Thursday, and we're going to have our 3.0 edition of College SportsCast mock draft with Peter, the mock draft guy, on YouTube. So looking forward to that. And then next Thursday night, we're actually going to be on while the NFL draft is going on. So I thought the first round, we will come on next Thursday night and talk a little bit about the players that's been drafted and what school they're from and what team got them and where they went drafted and what pick they were. And we'll kind of do a live NFL draft.
Live
update.
reaction.
Yeah, live reactions. Yeah, live reactions to the NFL draft next Thursday night. I thought we would kind of cover that some as well. I mean, we might throw in some other stuff too, but
that is
next Thursday night.
Wow.
Yep, it's next Thursday night. So we'll be on while the NFL draft is on. So we'll kind of do some live updates and reactions and stuff like that, and tie it to schools and stuff where they're from and things like that next Thursday night. So kind of give you a little bit of NFL draft coverage and talk here on College SportsCast. I know I look forward to our last mock draft, which will be Tuesday night. And then I think the Green Bay Packers guy that's going to be on about the draft is Sunday, right?
Sunday, it'll be Derek Sager for the X Factor podcast.
Right.
Sunday.
He'll be Sunday at 3:00. So that is something to look forward to. So we're going to have a full week next week of some NFL draft talk and a mock draft and live reaction from first round NFL draft next Thursday night. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday next week.
Cool.
Jason, if you're on next Tuesday night, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing our last mock draft.
I will be there.
All right, that's what we've got planned for next Tuesday night. That's our last one. It's 2 days before the draft, so it was the last date I could schedule before the draft, and I wanted to get one more in and do a 3.0 edition college sportscast mock draft.
Good deal.
Nice.
All right, I put our link tree up there for a minute, and then we are now on WSBN TV channel 30. Download Cast app, and you can find us on Apple TV, Roku. You can find us on Amazon Fire Stick, but you have to download the BoxCast app.
Correct.
To find us. The BoxCast will allow you to pick up the WSBN TV channels. There are a bunch of them. I know there's at least 45. I don't know if they're all active because some are like hockey and when hockey season, some are soccer when soccer season's going on. And, so I don't know if they're all active at the current time. But they have, I'm pretty sure, about 45 channels currently. And we're channel 30, by the way.
There you go. You did it.
I better throw that
You
in. Did I say that?
You got it. You let them to write to us. Channel 30.
All right.
WSBN TV. Oh, you weren't going to ever say it. Didn't
All
know
right.
it.
All right. Our Home for Our Troops is our 2023 nonprofit organization that we're asking that you give to for Defan Boys. And it is Home for Our Troops. They are building homes for injured and wounded vets. And they've been doing it for 20 plus years. For every dollar that you give, 90 goes towards rebuilding their lives by building them homes. So we ask that you give at www.hfotusa.org.
Good deal.
Yep.
Good deal.
All right, guys. We appreciate you being on with us tonight. And we will see you Thursday night. And we'll do some weekend series picks. John will get some of those together for us, and we'll do some baseball weekend series picks, and we'll probably do other things along the way on Thursday night. But we will see you on Thursday night, WSBN TV, channel 30.
Speaking is hard.
Hey man, listen, just one of those nights.
It's been a rough night.
Hey, trust me. I can sit with that. Make sure, man, y'all send me those picks so I still can send my picks in, even though I'll be on the road and in the air the next 2 weeks, going to Georgia and then Phoenix.
Georgia. That's like right.
Yep.
Right over here in our neck of the woods now.
He's an AAU basketball coach. Jason Harrison.
Come right by us all over here.
He's busy. He's traveling a lot and doing AAU basketball right now. So
I just need to get these 2 weekends out the way, and I have a little piece for a week, and then back to it.
All right, guys. It's good to have Jason back on with us. He'll be on with us next Tuesday night for our last mock draft, and I know he'll enjoy that.